And that is my vision for the Middle East, for Israel, for the Palestinians, for Iran. That this amazing diverse population will be celebrated and granted the freedoms that we so desperately need and deserve. Just as I'm calling for the release of the 136 Israeli hostages that have been held by Hamas, we must recognize that millions of Iranians are hostage in their own homeland and call every day for their release. There will be no freedom to anyone until we clarify this and say it openly with our full chest. No to the Islamic Republic. No to the Islamic Republic. No to the Islamic Republic.
We are broadcasting
no to the Islamic Republic
on the streets. So I'm going to go around and then try to interview some people as well. But
we are standing together, united, to release all hostages for freedom and for equality in the Middle East. We're standing for Zan, Zandagi, Azadi, Nashim, Chaim, Cherut, women, life, freedom. Thank you so much.
Said in the beautiful language of Hebrew without butchering it, so I'm going to continue to say it in Farsi. Zan zendegi azadi. Zan zendegi azadi. And I know that the Israelis have been calling with the tagline, "Bring them home," urging for the immediate release of those poor hostages that are being held at the hands of terrorists. Now, if I may be so bold, in addition to saying bring them home, I would like to change it to free them all, referring to the Israeli hostages, the Palestinians that are being bombed and used as human shields, as well as the 85+ million Iranians. Free them all! 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 IRGC's terrorists! UK, put them on the list! IRGC's terrorists! UK, put them on the list! IRGC's terrorists, not only in Middle East. And when we say they are not terrorists in the Middle East, we mean that they are operating right here on British soil. My British public, as you're walking past, beware. Your freedom and democracy is under threat at the hands of the Islamic Republic. Please take action. They are bombing Ukrainians right here in the heart of Europe. And with that, we have an incredible Ukrainian speaker with us today. He is an activist and has tried to voice the struggle of the Ukrainians. Please put your hands together and welcome to stage Pavlo.
Zan zindagi azadi. Zan zindagi azadi. Zan zindagi azadi. My friends, I come here today as a representative of the Ukrainian community. And our message is simple and unequivocal. We fully support the Iranian people in their struggle against the terrorist IRGC and the corrupt Ayatollah regime. The Iranian people, thank you. Thank you very much. And it has been spoken today. I'd like to mention the speech of Mr. Pahlavi. It was very good and very straight to the point. Because indeed, the Iranian people cannot make use of the vast resources of their country. Because the Ayatollah regime refuses it to be as such. They involve Iran in wars against people who have done no wrong against the Iranian people. That is what's going on right now. However, I'm very glad to see that this cause is alive and well. And as long as people speak, as long as people continue to act, a cause will never die. And that is why I am certain that we will win as long as we keep moving forward towards a better future, a freer future, a future with no IRGC, a future with no Ayatollah regime. All together, we will win. All together, we will win. All together, we will win. My friends, it needs to be said once again that the terrorist Ayatollah regime does not act only via direct means. In fact, they have been acting for a very long time throughout their proxies. The Houthis, the Hezbollah, and Hamas. These are terrorist regimes that need to be called as such, just like the terrorist IRGC, just like the terrorist Russian regime. Mere days ago, there have been more casualties caused by the provisions of the Shahid drones to the Russian terrorist regime, by the current Ayatollah regime. 3 children have died because the IRGC and the Ayatollahs really want to fill up their pockets with blood money.
Guys, so we're now broadcasting live.
That is the
down in
reason why they're
central
doing
London.
this.
Welcome to
And all of their pretenses are
Remember
lies.
to hit that big red subscribe button.
You can see
and
through them
also
very
hit the
well.
bell icon.
And everybody
Subscribe
needs to
the
see
future
through
live
them.
streams,
And that
more
is why
videos
we
on
say
Twitter, and so you'll get
that the British
notified when
government
I go
and every
live.
government
Thank
in
you
the
so much
world
for
needs
tuning
to
in.
recognize
As we see,
Russia as a terrorist regime
there's an Iranian protest
and needs to
behind me
recognize
against
the
Iranian regime
IRGC
and the government. Pablo
as
is now speaking.
terrorists.
He's one of the
IRGC's
notable Ukrainian
terrorists.
protesters,
UK put them
and
on
there's a
the
sort of
list.
joint Ukraine and Iranian protest. I'll just show you the crowd size here right now.
IRGC's terrorists. UK put them on the list. IRGC's terrorists. UK put them on the list. My friends, I would like to finish the speech with a very important thing to mention. We are all fighting the same battle right now. A battle between the free world and the enslaved world. It's up to us to decide what we want to become in the future. Whether we want to be free men and women or slaves of the IRGC, slaves of the Ayatollah, slaves of the terrorist Russian regime. It's up to every single one of us to decide. We are making our decision right now as we stand here today. And we will continue to make that decision until we finally bring this war to an end and until we finally achieve a better future. So for that, my friends, thank you all for coming here today. And know this, you're always welcome in our Ukrainian rallies. Because your fight is our fight. And your victory is our victory. Zan zindagi azadi. Zan zindagi azadi. Zan zindagi azadi. Slava Ukraini. Thank you.
A lot of incredibly powerful speeches today, huh? Was that not amazing? Humanity and unitedness knows no boundaries. Love knows no boundaries. All together, we will win. All together, we will win. All together, we will win.
All together, we will win! All together, we will win!
به نام اعتراض، به نام شستشوی اعتقاد، به نام رپری که خودجوش، به نام الله که خودروشه، به نام زنی که از نداری فاحشه شد، یا اون دختر مجردی که حامله شد. لعنت به اون دستای پشت پرده که زندگی نرمال خاطره شد. این بود انقلاب پا به رهنه ها، این بود درک کردن حال گشنه ها، این بود وعده رفاه مردم و گلوله به جای آمال تشنه ها. اعتراض دارم به این بی‌عدالتی، ما تو کشور خودمون بی حمایتی، مالیات و آب و برق و گاز رو میدیم و میبرن. امثال خاورین این سیستم به دست کی اداره میشه که روز به مشکلات اضافه میشه؟ چرا امتحان نمیشه یه راه دیگه به این روند رو به زوال ادامه میده؟ تو این شرایط بد اقتصادی من موندم و یه کار اعتراضی صدای مردم میشم و میخونم حتی تو وین و سلول انفرادی.
میشه آبرویی مملکت رو تعطیل کنیم، دارالیتان دایر کنیم، درست تره مردم نان شب ندارند، تحتیست، دهانیست، مرض بیداد میکند، ریخت مردم به آدمیزاد برگشته. خلق خدا به چه روزی افتادند از تدبیر ما.
Right, thank you all so much for your patience. I know you can join me in absolutely and firmly agreeing that our speakers have been amazing, and I'm pleased to say we have two more incredible speakers. Our next speaker is a true leader. She's an Iranian woman, a doctor by the name of Laleh Tansy. Laleh is not only a doctor, physician, she's an activist and a humanitarian who has for many, many years worked with Doctors Without Borders. She has supported in educating many children around the world with the most deprived of conditions. Please put your hands together and welcome Dr. Laleh Tansy.
Hi everybody. It's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to be among so many genuine, true Iranian flags here today. The sun and lion flag of Iran will come back. And it's an honor to share this stage with His Royal Highness Prince Reza Pahlavi and the amazing Jewish, British and Ukrainian community today. Before the 1979 invasion of Ayatollahs, there were only a few thousand Iranians living abroad. We are over 7 million now, not by own choice, but we were forced to flee from violence and lack of freedom, justice and human rights. Iranians mostly left as asylum seekers and refugees, as they found life unbearable under a terrorist regime. This alone demonstrates the extent of dissatisfaction with this regime and its criminal acts. The Islamic regime in Iran has been criticized by the international human rights organizations for its treatment of prisoners of conscience, including torture, unfair trials, and lack of legal representation. Many prisoners are environmental activists, journalists, bloggers, students, sports personalities, influencers, and members of minority groups. Many are also advocates of human rights, democracy, freedom of speech, and religious freedom. They often face absurd charges, such as spreading propaganda against the so-called holy state, acting against national security, or participation in protests. The imprisonment of activists in Iran has been a subject of concern and condemnation by the international community. Organizations such as Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have often called for release of prisoners and for improvement of human rights. Executions in Iran have also been a topic of concern and controversy for the last 45 years. Iran has the highest execution rate in the world. Death penalty is used for a wide range of offences and is justified as a necessary measure for maintaining social order. However, there are widespread concerns about the fairness of the trials and use of torture to extract forced confessions. There have also been instances where individuals who were minors at the time of the offense have been executed. As opposed to other dictatorships, the Islamic regime's terror does not stop by the victim, but also extends to their lawyers, families, who can lose their jobs and end up in prison, and worst of all, are banned from publicly grieving their loss of son or daughter. Not even the gravestones of the executed ones are spared from the terror of these villains. Navid Afkari, Majid Reza Rahnavard, and our beloved Muhammad Qobadi. Are three of many innocent young lives taken in the recent weeks, months, and years by the Islamic regime in Iran. The day has arrived. The day has arrived to once and for all stop only expressing concerns and put an end to the appeasement policy towards the government in Iran and IRGC. IRGC, which, as you know, is the brain behind terror and violence in many countries and in this country, in UK. The unlawful occupers of Iran will sooner or later be defeated. But history will remember those who supported them and chose to ignore their crimes. History will not forgive and forget. پاینده ایران جاوید شاه! جاوید شاه! جاوید شاه!
As a woman, there is nothing I love more than being surrounded by other inspirational women like Laleh. Laleh Jan, thank you. Bear with me, I'm a lot taller than her. There we go. Right, as Laleh rightfully pointed out, the Islamic Republic loves to use its many, many heinous acts against humanity, and executions is just one of them. In the recent weeks, they have executed 6 innocent people. Muhammad Qobadi was one of those people, as Laleh just pointed out. Say his name, say his name! Say his name, say his name! Farhad Salemi was another one of those, a Kurdish Iranian man who was brutally executed. Say his name, say his name! Say his name, say his name! Farhad Salemi! Say his name, say his name! Pejman Fathi was another one of those Kurdish Iranians who was brutally executed recently. Say his name, say his name! Pejman Fathi! Say his name, say his name! Mohammad Faramarzi was another one of those innocent souls. Say his name, say his name! Mohsen Mazloum was another one of those people. Mohammad Mohsen Mazloum. Say his name! Say his name! Vafar Azarbar was another one of those innocent souls. Say his name! Say his name! Now, the Islamic Republic has a terrifying figure against his record, that it is estimated on average that they execute 3 people a day. Now that's just what they report. God knows what they do behind closed doors that goes unreported. However, in spite of the evidence and such high numbers of executions, the United Nations has recently decided to prize the Islamic Republic leaders a seat at the UN Human Rights Council Social Forum. Shame, shame indeed. And I stand here today, and I'm sure you'll join me in reminding the leaders who choose to turn a blind eye to the Islamic Republic's crimes against humanity, in saying and reminding them that their silence is their violence. We would like to remind the leaders that your silence, their violence! Your silence, their violence! That's right, and we the people will not be silenced. My dear British public, as you're walking past, please let me remind you that the Islamic Republic and its proxies are committing acts against your freedom and democracy as we speak. Please take action. Write to your MPs, take a moment to read and sign the letter that we are addressing to the Foreign and Home Secretary. Pop your signature on that letter and let them hear your demands. IRGC is terrorists, not only in Middle East. That's right. Now, there have been many, many lost lives in the last 45 years at the hands of the Islamic Republic. I refer to the lives of the Iranians and the non-Iranians because we've already acknowledged that the reign of terror of the Islamic Republic is not exclusive to Iran. Please join me in briefly listening to a clip that highlights the voices of those who most recently died.
درود مردم شریف ایران.
خیلی دوست دارم حالا که دارم میرم، واقعا آخرش وقتی چند سال گذشت خوشحال باشم که رفتم تظاهرات و همه چی عوض شده.
منم بهتره که سکوت شما یعنی حمایت از
اولا داده بود که مطلب احضار تشریفی نگم و من اینطور بودم که دقیقا بعد ما بارون میبارد اگه زنگ زدی برنداشتم اینجا مطمئن قطعه خودم برنم من از رومین و بمباش انزا میدم جای کمرت شلاق میخورم بیا بری بعد ما بارون میباره از شازاری پر میشه این خونه از رقص و گل و شادی ما بریم تو سینه ها رگبار آهن نیست دیگه هیچ خاکستری از جنس آدم نیست
Before we have a moment of silence in honor of all of those who have died at the hands of the barbaric and brutal Islamic Republic, I would just like to take a moment to remind the loved ones of all of those who have been executed and murdered that they are not forgotten, that their deaths will not be in vain, and that they are stars that shine brightly in the skies of Iran. Please join me in a moment of silence in their honor. Thank you all. Right, that I want to end this on a somber mood. Oh, okay, right, so. Woman, life, freedom! Woman, life, freedom! Woman, life, freedom! And just before I hand over to our last but most certainly not least of speakers of the day, I just want to take a moment to remind you all, if you haven't done so already, please take a second to read that letter that is being addressed to the Home Secretary and the Foreign Minister's office. Please read it, sign it, and let the fight continue beyond these rallies. Let them know that our safety, the British UK safety, is at risk for as long as the Islamic Republic and its jihadist extremist proxies exist. Please take a moment and sign that letter. Now I'd like to take a moment and welcome to the stage our last speaker, Nicole Lampert. Indeed, yes, a British Jewish freelance journalist and an activist against anti-Semitism. Please put your hands together and welcome Nicole.
Sisters and brothers, it is an honour to be here with you today as a member of the British Jewish community, standing with you as you stood with us. We stand with you. We cry with you. On October 7, a spotlight was shone on the brutality of Hamas and other Iranian proxy groups. The tortures, the murders, the rapes, the beheadings, the hostage-taking. It was a shock to us, the Jewish people, but not to you, our Iranian friends. You have seen this happen for too long to your own people. The tortures, the murders, the rapes, the beheadings, the hostages. On October 7, the British Jewish people were surprised to find people celebrating on the streets of London, on these streets, the murders of innocent civilians who were asleep in their beds or dancing at a rave. We saw so-called feminists agreeing with the idea that rape is resistance. We saw the self-described anti-racists say it was okay to kill Jews because they deserved it. And we've also seen people marching on this very street, celebrating another murdering, raping, country-ruining Iranian proxy, the Houthis, a terrorist group which has attacked British ships. The actions of these Islamic proxies are the last desperate actions of an evil entity which is hated by its own people and is determined to sow hatred and war across the world. The useful idiots of the far left have swallowed the lies of the fascist IRGC and are marching in the streets to their tune of murder and mayhem. On October 7, we felt alone, but you, our Iranian friends, were there, with your flags and with your voices and with the photos of your own missing and killed people. the bravest rebels who put their lives on the line to say, we want to show our hair, we want to dance, we want to have control over our own lives. Women, life, freedom. Women, life, freedom. Women, life, freedom. The IRG hates to see young people dancing, their hair blowing in the wind. It hates to see young women with minds of their own. It would hate today. Our two communities have a mainly happy history that goes back more than 2,000 years to the time of Cyrus the Great. The Islamic Republic tried to end that, but our friendship today is an act of rebellion against that. I know how dangerous standing with my community has been for some of your bravest people. They have faced death threats in this country simply for saying no to the IRGC and no to Hamas and for saying we stand with Jews. I thank you for that. "17 years ago, my next door neighbour, Alexander Litvinenko, was murdered. And just as the British government was too slow to recognise the menace of the Russian state when it killed him, a British citizen in London, it has been too slow to recognise the danger the IRGC poses on our streets. Even as we know, several murder plots have been foiled by our secret services, and that even today, some of you and some of us are in danger from their agents. It is time to prescribe the IRGC as the terrorist organisation that it is. IRGC terrorists, UK put them on the list. Thank you for standing with us. We stand for you, all of us here. We stand united.
Wow, and united we stand for today, for tomorrow, and until the world is free and rid of the Islamic Republic. Down with Islamic Republic in Iran! Down with dictator! Down with Khamenei! Down with Islamic Republic in Iran! Thank you all. Thank you all for bearing with us today. I almost got knocked out to death. You all withstood the cold and the rain. Thank you for making today so great. Rest assured that the people in Iran will see and hear this. They will recognize your support. I would just like to take a moment to remind you all one last time, in case you haven't done so, to please generously donate, because these events, the expense of them is covered by the members of Stage of Freedom, who are not supported or funded by any group or organization. This event is put on by the people, for the people. And last but not least, please ensure that you have read and signed that letter addressing the Foreign Minister's Office and the Home Secretary's Office. I'd like to take a moment to thank each and every single one of our volunteers today, for without you this event could not happen. Thank you all. I'd like to thank everybody that helped provide the equipment, the signs, the signatures, the posters. Thank you all. I'd like to thank every single one of our speakers. You are all beautiful souls who have made today a very memorable one. And last but not least, I'd like to thank each and every single one of you. Thank you. Woman life freedom! Woman life freedom! Woman life freedom! Ellie has asked me to say this, and I'm sorry to the non-Iranians that don't know this. I don't think I'll quite be able to translate it into English. But it's significant for us. ما ملت کبیریم ایرانو پس میگیریم Irani. Thank you all again. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for allowing me. Thank you. Do you want me to
خدمتتون
give this back to you?
باشم خیلی ممنون دست
Do you want me to give this back to you now? Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you. Sorry, just sorry.
Thank you so much.
Sorry.
You need space. You want to get
yeah,
out?
sorry. Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Just try to
You need
space. Thank you.
How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Nice
Thank you.
to
How's
see
it been?
you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah,
Yeah, very good.
how's everything? Good?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Do you want a quick interview over
In the name of the God of the rainbows, once there was a little boy and he made it a Polskian. Was supposed to have a bright future, but he was shot to death with so many holes. Once there was a pretty little girl with eyes full of life to shine, like pearls with the voice of an angel, courageous and brave. She was raped and killed and put to the grave. So many stories to tell, so I'm afraid to say all their names, but I see all the faces. No, I'm never gonna forget the people that raised all the hope that's gonna take us to places. No, I'm never gonna forget the nights that light up the skies of this revolution. And they're never gonna forget the rise or shut down the stars with executions. تقصیر ما این سکوت آیین ما بیداریه تقدیر دشمن سهول بگو وایسادیم اینجا کنار همه بگو وایسادیم این خاک نارمانه بگو وایسادیم این بار پشت هم نمیذاریم رایه‌هامون پشت هم
شما ترور میکنید اعتراض ما هم میدونیم جریان فتنه ها رو با که به دنبال تجزیه نیستیم و خودتون میندازید اختلاف و با خشم و قدرت امید داریم ما روزای خوب و نوید دادیم ما آزادی وطن نیکا و سارینا و حدیث دادیم همون دست گلایی که پرپر شدن نخواستن به حکومت سرخم کنن اونا قهرمانای قایبن که بعد شهید شدنشون مطرح شدن توی اعدام و یکی تیر مستقیم ما ایرانی هستیم ولی شما دشمنی ما به فکر هموطنایی که زندانی هن و شما هم تو فکر کشتنی آره زورگویتون رو به انتاف اقتداری که فقط ادعا عادت که حقیقت اتحاف نزدیکتر شدیم به انقلاب
تقدیر ما آزادیه تقصیر ما این سکوت آیین ما بیداریه تقدیر دشمن سرور بگو وایسادیم اینجا کنار همه بگو وایسادیم این خاک آرمانه بگو وایسادیم این بار پشت هم نمیذاریم رایه‌هامون کشتشن
Cheers. Thank you. Hi there. Do you want to say a few words to the camera about today and the turnout and everything? Sorry, my name is Louis from Another Alternative. Nice to meet you. How do you do? Yeah. So, what brings you to protest today in central London on a cold Sunday? So,
sorry, I
yeah.
just need this.
Yeah, sorry. What's the significance of this protest today? Yeah.
Okay. Just speak Farsi. Sorry, I don't speak. Just speak Farsi. I don't speak English.
French. Okay.
Yes. Tom پوشش میخواد صحبت.
Sure. C'est français. Oui. Très bien. C'est français.
Yes, just speak Farsi. I don't speak English.
I can translate it on camera.
Okay, after one.
Oh no, it doesn't matter. I can translate it on camera if you want.
Translate it?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, you can speak in French.
بله امروز وایسادیم ما بچهای میهم پرست پادشاهی خواه به خاطر مملکتمون به خاطر آزادی مملکتمون از دست این ملاهای دیکتاتور برای آزادی اوکراین ایران اینجا هستیم ما بچهای پادشاهی خواه میهم پرست برای دختران مملکتمون برای که آزاد بشه مملکتمون
Sorry, one sec.
ما تامو میخوایم تامو میتونی پیدا کنی؟
Wait, what do...
Pigeon.
C'est PG, vous baptisé aujourd'hui.
Sorry. Okay, just 1 minute. My brother is here. Translate interview.
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry. Definitely, sorry. Thank you so much. Probably, do you know Pablo? I'm a freelance. My name's Louis, by the way. So, nice to meet you. Thank you. Yeah, guys, we just did a quick French interview there. I could easily translate it, so they're going to try help out and add some nice variety to the live stream today. Yeah, once again, we're now broadcasting live in central London, opposite Downing Street. So we just interviewed one of the protesters. We're going to try and interview Pablo as well from Speaker's Corner, because he speaks quite well on camera as well. But yeah, thank you once again for tuning in. We are now broadcasting live, showing you what the mainstream media don't show. We are an impartial freelance journalist channel. If you're new, welcome onto the live, and if this is your first live stream watching, thank you for joining.
She's going to the hub.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, hope to see you there. Yeah, sure. Oh, really? Sorry? Oh, really?
Every single one.
How you doing? All right.
My name's Louis from Laleh Tansy.
Tom, how you doing? All right.
So, do you want to say a few words to the camera in French, and we can translate it, and then I'll interview you after as well. So,
what's your question?
The turnout today, basically, if you don't mind asking him.
What's your question?
So, what do you think of the turnout today in
چی فکر می‌کنید در مورد امروز؟
امروز خیلی عالی بود. ما همه جمع شدیم به امید آزادی ایران. ما بچهای میهن پرست وایسادیم فقط به امید آزادی ایران از دست این ملاهای خبیث، از دست جمهوری اسلامی.
It was really great, and we hope we get freedom one day. Yeah. And all the Iranian people, British people, Ukrainian people, Israeli, Jewish people, we all here. They shouting together, they work together, and I hope we get freedom very soon.
Yeah, definitely. And are you? What do you want to see at the end of all of this from the UK government's response?
Well, what we expect from UK government. Let me ask him more. شما چی انتظار دارید از دولت انگلیس؟ My English is not very good.
That's why I'm sorry.
ما انتظار داریم که اینا ساپورت نکنن جمهوری اسلامی رو. آره، مراکز اسلامی رو ببندن. آره، مراکز تروریست جمهوری اسلامی رو و این ببندن، ساپورت نکنن جمهوری اسلامی رو. انتظار ما اینه که ما بتونیم با هم میهنان میهن پرستمون اینجا هستیم جمع بشیم، امید داریم به آزادی ایران 100%.
He said what we expect from the British government not to support Mullah in these circumstances and put the IRGC in the terrorist list. This is very important because the IRGC group, they are the arms of the Islamic terrorist regime in Iran. Whatever they do it by them, and British government really needs to put them on a list and bring them down. And this is a huge help to Iranian people to get the freedom.
Yeah. And in terms of do you have any family and relatives and friends out there who are personally affected by this whole situation?
میگه خانواده کسی چیز داری که اونجا تحت تاثیر قرار گرفته باشن؟ میتونی بگی همه ایران خانواده من فرقی نمیکنه مثلا؟
بله، داریم همه ایران خانواده ما هستن، هیچ فرقی نمیکنه. تمام شهیدای راه آزادی، دخترای ما، پسرای ما، همه خانواده ما هستن تو ایران.
All Iranian people, the same family. It won't make difference who's captured, who's died, whatever. All the people, young people especially, died in last year. They die for freedom. They're all our heroes. We feel they're all part of our family. It won't make difference. Either personal family or other family. Right, it's not a difference whatever.
And at the end of all of this, what solution do you think will be the best for the people and the government?
میگه در پایان این چه چیزی بهترین چه کاری بهترین کاره که انجام بشه.
بهترین کار اینه که بدون جنگ و خونریزی آرزوی آزادی ایران رو داریم ما. فقط همین این ملاها برن. دیگه هیچ مشکلی نیست.
Right, the best result, the best way to get freedom in Iran, to support Iranian people. The biggest army is the Iranian people. As our King Reza Pahlavi says in the interview, I think last week. The biggest army we have in Iranian people. We need to support them. We need to help them and we need to engage with them. The British government can do a lot of things. Support Iranian inside and outside, support opposition in outside the country, you know, to get better organization like this today. Today it was absolutely brilliant. British government can do huge to provide a satellite to conduct Iranian people to the outside people, to the inside people, because the regime tried to disconnect the internet, tried to cut them their relationship with the outside, which is I think the British government can do this in a huge way.
Yeah, definitely. And how have passers-by and people walking past? How have people walking past, like members of the public, engaged with you guys rallying here today?
میگه اونایی که رد می‌شدن چه حسی داشتن؟
این تجمع مصالحت‌آمیزه و من فکر می‌کنم خیلی حس خوبی به تمام مردم دنیا میده. چه برسه اینایی که از اینجا رد می‌شدن و ما آرزوی بازگشت رضا پهلوی شاهنشاهمون رو داریم به ایرانمون.
So it's great now. Everyone's stopping asking a question. What we want is a freedom for for us. Of course, if this regime go away, which will go away eventually, the Middle East goes down. Yeah. And what we want to our kingdom to come back to Iran. People passing, asking questions. They were happy. They were exciting, really. They were encouraging us to fight back and never give up.
Do you want to say a few words, final words to the camera about your campaign and what you want to achieve in the next couple of years?
میگه میخواید نتیجه‌ای که میخواید به دست بیارید تو چند تا جمله بگی، مثلا مثل فریدم فور ایران میتونی بگی، یا آزاد ایران، یا جاوید شاه هم میتونی بگی. بگو.
جاوید شاه هست و بازگشت پادشاهمون به ایران برای ما بهترینه، پادشاه ایران و آزادی برای مردمان عزیز و کشورمون.
Thank you so much for your time today on camera. It's been a pleasure interviewing you and having you on camera. My name is Louis, Mufapil Louis from Another Alternative. Really good
Are you
meeting
independent
you.
or?
I'm a freelance independent, so really good meeting you. Merci. Au revoir. Au revoir. Yeah, so guys, we just did an interview with this French speaker. His friend was translating it for him, but it was pretty interesting. He was talking about the situation going on in Iran and the response he wants to see from Downing Street as well. But yeah, we are now broadcasting live. The protest has largely ended, but this is a perfect opportunity to do interviews. I'll see if Vahid Beheshti is here, because he is a prominent Iranian campaigner and he's been also doing the 100-day hunger strike, so-called 100-day hunger strike opposite the Foreign Office down on King Charles Street for a long time now, for many months. I think almost a year now, so yeah, I'll be interviewing him shortly. I think Pablo's around, so yeah, I'll see what he has to say to the camera about today. I think there is a smallish Ukrainian protest just in front of me, sort of forming right now, so we'll probably pop over there to get some footage very shortly and also wander into Central to see what's going on, especially with the Chinese New Year parade. I think it's ended in Chinatown. I'm not sure if they're still celebrating, but we'll go up and wander to see what's going on up there. But thank you so much. It's been a pleasure covering all of this. Remember to support independent journalism as we cover a variety of events in central London across the capital that are very important and of important issues. So yeah, thank you once again. But yeah, we're going to try look for more people to interview, see what they have to say on camera. I think there's a Ukraine thing. Should we come back with something?
See you later.
You're gonna pop over to it? Yeah. Wait, Bosco, do you want to pop over to it? Are you? Very good, thanks. Yeah, really good process. Sequence. Success. Sorry, just you know what the bottles are for?
Yeah, they're supporting the sign outside.
The what, sorry?
They're supporting the banners.
Really? Oh, I thought. That's for the sign.
I ain't fighting that.
Is there anything going on up there? Less than solo.
The only thing I can think of now would be the Chinatown celebration.
Chinatown.
Red Cap. If they are still doing them, you might be back.
How was Horse Guards today?
Very good.
Після кожного випуску вона робить репорт станції. Якщо буде виклик від нас поліції, поліція робить репорт, канцлер розглядає тоді наші протести, розумієш? І вони зараз кажуть, вам треба 3, 4 або 5 конференцій.
What do you reckon we do? Do you want to film this for Roberto?
They finished now.
Finished soon as well.
They finished?
I don't know if they're forming.
They're protesting.
Yeah, guys, we've got a smallish Ukraine rally here.
Я знаю, що нема до кого, але цікаве відео вийде. Минуле відео, воно вибухнуло, багато людей дивилися на це. Так, я тобі кажу, що людям це подобається.
Did this happen earlier today then?
Deliberately not making
We are thinking early wake up tomorrow and maybe go to Buckets House to conversate and then do Horse Golf Parade, then probably go back. Doing so much yesterday. Was anything going on?
It's only Chinatown. Because there are 1,000 people in there today.
Still, are they like celebrating?
Yeah, I mean, I used to love
There's still something going on.
Це добре,
I mean, I can't really
Я з ними тут сиджу, поговорю, зараз прийду. I'm coming.
I think Pablo's coming around. Okay. We're going to try and interview him quickly. Pablo. Pablo, how are you? Nice to see you. How's it been?
Good to see you guys.
Okay?
Good to see you guys.
So I saw the Iranian rally as well.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Would you mind telling my viewers about the support that the Ukrainian people have for the Iranians?
100%. We've always been in very close cooperation with the Iranian community here in London. We've done joint rallies. We've always supported each other. They came to our rallies. We came to their rallies. You know, we have the same cause basically. We oppose authoritarianism. We oppose the Ayatollah regime. We oppose the Russian terrorist regime, which, by the way, the two of these regimes are in close cooperation. This is something the West needs to finally open their eyes to. Our enemies are uniting. They're getting closer together. North Korea, Iran, Russia, and China is under the table. You know, they're kind of helping them out in some ways. But China is afraid to openly stop supporting them. So China is not. China might be a problem for the future. The immediate problem is Russia, Iran, North Korea. And we need to finally open our eyes and start acting instead of reacting to everything that happens. Like these Houthis, when they blocked the Red Sea, right? When they blocked the passage. We can't allow this garbage to happen, man. We need to do something about this. Why do we always react? Why can't we just put down these terrorist regimes? it's nonsense. And we today I came here with our Iranian friends, and I did a speech in their support. And it was lovely. I think everybody should know this, and everybody should understand that this is a war between freedom and slavery.
What do you say to those that think the whole Russia-Ukraine conflict is a proxy war and the UK shouldn't really be involved in it?
I would like to ask those people a question. A proxy war between who? Russia and the US? Well, if it's between Russia and the US, Russia is already fully committed to this war, and it's completely direct with Russia. For Russia, this is not a proxy war, and for the US, it's not a proxy war either. The US has promised to help Ukraine in the Budapest Memorandum, as we know. So, US is simply keeping its word by helping Ukraine now. The Ukrainians want to be with the West. The Ukrainians want to be with Europe. You can ask any person here; they will tell you exactly the same thing. So this is a decision of the Ukrainians. They want to be with NATO. They want to be with the EU. They want to be free. They don't want to be with the Russians. The Russians are a terrorist regime. They are a country-sized criminal syndicate. And we need to understand this at last. We can't see the Russians, but what about the Americans? Oh, they're both as bad as each other. No, they're not. No, they are not. Look what the Americans did with their enemies in Nazi Germany. Look at what they did with their enemies in Imperial Japan. Now they're some of the biggest economies in the world. Now their quality of life is some of the highest. Look what the Russians did to the ones that they had conquered in the past. Poverty, corruption, crime. This is all they can do. We don't want to side with the Russians. We want to side with the West. And same with the Iranians.
And in terms of the conflict as a whole, do you feel like between now and 2025 it will lead to greater conflict and potentially a global
Unfortunately,
scale
yes.
war?
Unfortunately, yes. It's very unfortunate. I'm very sad to say this, but exactly because of this rising wave of isolationism. You see, the conservative parties nowadays are corrupted through and through by isolationism, and it's absolutely idiotic. You cannot give up the influence of the West and say, oh no, I only care about my country. Those guys will be coming for you, and you need to understand this. Does any person who supports isolationism in the US, can any of those people say with a legit face that China will not come after them if they just give up their influence around the region? No, they know that they will come after them, but they don't care. The isolationists in the US are all sellouts. They're getting money in their pockets. So this, unfortunately, it looks like this is gonna get worse because of all these isolationists. They're just using appeasement tactics, and they're making Russia, Iran, and North Korea believe like they can get away with anything. That's the issue. Sorry.
Do you feel like nuclear weapons will be used even at a small scale?
Scary question. I don't think they will be. I think it's still likelier that there will not be any use of nuclear weapons. However, and this is the funny thing, this is something, not so funny, honestly, but it's the interesting part of this whole conversation. Many people believe that if we keep pushing Russia, they will use nukes. Quite the opposite. If Russia is not pushed, if Russia feels like there will be no consequences for the use of nuclear weapons, they will use those nuclear weapons. So, in other words, if we start invading Russia, sure, they might use nuclear weapons. We should not do that. No, none of us are saying we should be invading Russia, blah, blah, blah. None of us is pushing for that. None of us. We are pushing the West to provide Ukraine with the weapons Ukraine needs to beat the Russians in Ukraine. That's all we want. Beat the Russians in Ukraine, and to tackle Russian influence abroad in the other countries where they have an influence. All of these proxies, like Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, they're proxies of Iran and Russia. Why do we allow them to act as they please? We should not. We need to tackle them, to actually finally face them head on, to finally, take the initiative. The West doesn't need to invest much into it, but the West needs to have the will to give the weapons to those who need those weapons, like the Ukrainians. That's what we stand here for, to remind everybody that we need Ukraine to win. It's essential to the future of the West. If Ukraine loses, then it will look like the West is toothless. And then all bets are off. Then maybe they'll start using nuclear weapons, because why shouldn't they? There's not going to be any repercussion from the toothless West. That's the issue. That's what people don't need to understand.
Do you feel like there is almost, as well on top of the nuclear risk, there's a cybersecurity risk as well?
That's a more complex question. That's a much more complex question. It's not easy to answer it straightforward. Cybersecurity is becoming more and more important as time goes by, and it's something that the different countries have not quite learned how to deal with properly yet. The famous Russian bot farms, they are real. They are a real thing. The Russians are pouring huge resources into misinformation in the West, into supporting these isolationists, into supporting conspiracy theories. They're pouring a huge amount of resources into this. And how do you stop it? Well, it's difficult. It's very difficult. We need to get people who are going to debunk these ideas head on, to debate these people, to show that they are mistaken, that they are wrong. We need to use freedom of speech for that, whilst we have it. Because if Russia wins, we might not have it tomorrow. People in Russia, they don't have the freedom of speech to speak against the government. They're put in jail for 15 years, simply for saying that this is a war, that the war is happening. They're not allowed to say that. It's like Orwellian dystopia. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
Do you feel like they will bring in national service, and do you support it?
National service, you mean the conscription?
Yes.
In the West? It would not be necessary if Ukraine got all the weapons Ukraine needed, and if the West actually used the resources at hand well. Conscription probably will not be essential, probably will not be necessary. I like to hope that it will not be necessary, but if Russia wins, if Russia continues to push against the West, and look, this is something that's this might be something new to a lot of the viewers here, but the Russians are planning to take over all of Ukraine and then to use the Ukrainians as cannon fodder to fight against the West. They are planning to replenish their losses with the Ukrainians, which they will use almost like slave soldiers to just send forward in meat waves, as they've been sending their own. And they've been sending a lot of minorities in Russia, and ethnic Russians also, in the meat grinder. They're planning to do that with Ukrainians. The Ukrainians are not only fighting for their life, they're fighting for peace in Europe itself. Because, in the future, our resources, the Ukrainian resources, will be used against the West. Is this what the West wants? To allow Russia to use those resources? No. We need to stop them now. If Russia is stopped, if the Iranian proxies are stopped, I don't think there will be a need of conscription. I don't think so. China is a bit toothless themselves. There's been a huge scandal. I don't know if the viewers here have heard of it. There's been a huge scandal about the Chinese military and a lot of corruption involved in this whole endeavor. My personal favorite example was one of their generals who was caught stealing. He admitted that it was almost a tradition in the Chinese military to use the jet fuel to make hot pot. So they were leaking out the jet fuel to actually make hot pot to have some food. I mean, it's funny, it's comedic, it's ridiculous. So I think China is not quite as tough as we might have expected, but China still has a huge influence, huge economic influence, despite all the setbacks. We need to be careful.
At the end of all of this, what do you think the solution should be between Russia and Ukraine?
Best question ever. The solution for this is to provide Ukraine what Ukraine needs. To stop messing about, saying, this costs a lot of money. No, it doesn't. This is nonsense. Ukraine is getting a lot of the obsolete equipment that's almost about to reach its expiry date. Not expiry date, but you know what I mean. It's not like milk in the supermarket. But you know what I mean. Mines and shells and all of these things, they do have an expiry date. And Ukraine is being sent a lot of these things that would be destroyed eventually, either way. So the West is not really losing anything like that. And plus, the West could use, and it is using to an extent, the Russian funds, the money that the Russians have put in their banks, to kind of pay for the stuff that they're giving to Ukraine. So the West is not losing anything, and it's gaining everything by helping Ukraine win, and that's exactly what should happen. Give Ukraine what it needs to win. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much for your time on camera today. It's been a pleasure.
A pleasure, guys.
Yeah, see you in a bit. Take care. So yeah, that was Pablo from Speaker's Corner. I think he's now going to give a speech, but we challenged him impartially. We were devil's advocate on camera. We challenged him as well, so yeah, he spoke quite well, answering the questions quite fully. So yeah, we're going to go wander up, see what's happening at Chinatown because of the Chinese New Year celebrations. They might still be going on, so we're going to check what's happening. But yeah, the Ukraine protest is starting now, but we might cover it for a tiny bit, but it does happen every weekend, so it's not like we're missing out if we don't cover it today. But yeah, we covered the Iranian protests. If you just joined the live stream, you can go back and see. I did an interview with this French speaker, got his friend to translate it for us, so yeah, we'll be editing that as well. But thank you once again. It's been a pleasure covering all the events in central London recently. There's more to come, a lot of content next week, King's Gods videos as well, so stay tuned for that. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and also Twitter. The links are down below in the description, so go and check it out. It'd be much appreciated. So yeah, you can keep up to date with what we're doing behind the scenes, especially with the filming and live streaming going on in Central. So yeah, as we see now, the Ukrainian rally has just started, but we might stay here for a bit, just for a tiny bit of coverage, probably film a bit of Pablo's speech, and then we'll probably head off to Chinatown. So yeah, once again, thank you, and this is Louis Arrington from Another Alternative, broadcasting live on the streets of London, showing you what the mainstream media is not showing you.
And because of all of that, we stand here together. But before we go any further, we're going to start this rally, as we always do, with the Ukrainian anthem. In just a second.
Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці, запануємо ми, браття, у своїй сторонці, душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду.
Слава Україні! Слава нації! Україна! 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 Героям України тричі! Once again, my friends, we stand together with the people of Iran in their opposition against the Ayatollah regime. It's their fight, it's our fight.
Yeah, let's go there.
They've stopped there.
Really? They've stopped at Trafalgar?
Well, that's gone round. It's gone round the...
Kicking off.
It's gone that way.
Yeah. I've got a good panoramic view right on my camera. Did you get good footage? You got good footage? I'm trying... Do you reckon... Do you want to wake up early tomorrow? Maybe go to Buckingham Palace as well beforehand for the changeover? Because, you know, I think one of the guards will be on duty. I mean, that means I probably have to like wake up at 7 for that.
Definitely the changing.
Yeah. Sorry? Yeah, definitely. I'll depending on the weather. So if it's not raining, see you in a bit. Take care. Yeah, so basically, yeah, I think they're doing the changeover. So guys, we're now walking over to Trafalgar Square. See if there's anything going on of interest. It looks quite open. Yeah. Do they still have the decorations up? From the Chinese New Year? Yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way,
I missed the celebration this morning.
Really?
There was a group of women dancing in the street, you know, they were dancing, it was really good, so I just recorded it.
That's amazing. I'm getting more engagement now on TikTok because I put less hashtags.
Yeah, I think
More
people
comments.
coming in my lives.
Yeah, I got more comments now, which is a good sign, I guess. See if we see our friend. Yeah, guys, now this is sort of turning into like a walking live stream. Yeah, we're just going around seeing if there's anything else going on. Yeah. We could check Chinatown as well. I reckon Trafalgar first because it's probably closer. We're now broadcasting live. You've gone back up? A couple thousand, right? 200
subscribers today.
On TikTok?
Yeah. Oh, you got good reception outside of this Clarence pub.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing it earlier.
Just upload here then. I mean, the other pub we go to is worst reception ever. If any of the mods are in the live chat, please could you potentially change if possible, please may you change the live stream title to live walking about in London. So this is turning into some sort of IRL stream. I hate it when it happens. Let's see what's going on. Using those as I mean, I could go live on TikTok. It's tempting. Yeah. Let's check Trafalgar Square. Luckily now I can film quite late. So
I know, they are good.
21 minutes my way.
Do you hear what they said? Phone on a big stick. One of the American tourists. He said, phone on a big stick.
उसके बाद ना
I might do a TikTok live. Guys, I'm going to be doing a TikTok live stream, so I'll put the link to the TikTok profile in the live chat. Just feel like doing a TikTok live stream for a change because this is a walkabout stream. So I'm going to put the link to TikTok right now. Definitely tune in. Yeah guys, I'm going to do an IRL, but instead of on YouTube, I'll probably do it on TikTok because that'll probably be much easier. So tune in to the TikTok live. Just put the link. Thank you so much, Lisa. I mean, I'd love to do it on YouTube, but I feel like it's quite nice doing it on TikTok for a change, as we can get some good footage as well. So yeah, we're going to be doing a walkabout on TikTok right now. So we are now signing off, and see you guys on the other end, but on TikTok.